Thank you so much for joining me for today's Friday Focused podcast episode. I am Kate Thompson, a principal broker here at Best Real Estate Company, and I am so excited to bring you this latest installment. I am looking and always figuring out trying to figure out things that I can bring to you guys that would be interesting, that will help you in your business, that can have a positive impact on how you're doing things. And so I'm always looking for a hodgepodge of information that I can bring you and be able to share that information in an effective way and in a way that you can immediately begin to get to work on using the information that I'm sharing. I do also want to let you guys know that just a reminder that it's important, even if you hear me on this podcast saying, certain things or, telling you where you can find certain information, that you go there and check it out for yourself so that you can interpret it, digest the information, and then come back to me with any questions for anything that you're not clear about. The thing that makes our brand really strong, and I can speak to this because I'm usually one of the people. I'm not the only person. There's lots of agents and people who I consider to be leaders within our company who actually help me in the work of being able to market us and to present our brand in the best possible light. And one of the things that I'm always struck by is what other people say about best real estate agents, that we're usually very nice, that we're usually very knowledgeable, that we tend to have a good grasp on how we should do things. Obviously, nobody is perfect, but for the most part, I get really good feedback on how our agents behave and how they carry themselves in the public sphere, how you're very professional. And every once in a while, we have, a blip or two with another agent where there's some miscommunication or misunderstanding. And, I would say that for the most part, our agents have done a pretty good job since I've been a broker, at least, at figuring out ways to try to help their clients, to achieve the best possible outcome depending on the situation. And so that really is my goal with you guys on this podcast, is that I'm presenting this information to you in hopes that it can make you feel better about where you are and hopefully motivate you to keep going. The only people, in my opinion, who don't succeed are the people who stop trying. And so for me, as long as you are putting forth a great effort and putting 100% into what you're doing and putting 100% of your effort into doing it the right way, then to me, that says a lot about your character, and it will eventually make you successful. And so we're about 3.5 minutes in. Last week's episode was quite long. And so I'm, like I said, doing all that I can to try to keep these episodes to between 15 and 20 minutes. So today I just have a couple things that I wanted to point out, more um, informational type things than things that are kind of heavy. Like I said, I know when we first started these, I was really going a ways with it because I wanted to make sure that you understood things about the um, NAR complications with the antitrust lawsuits and things of that nature. But now I think it's really a chance and our opportunity to kind of focus on, what's going on in our markets in terms of home ownership and, people buying and what the trends are. Normally in our market here in the Mid-South, and I'm pretty sure across the country, the summertime is usually a peak season. Historically, that has been one of the peak seasons for home sales, residential home sales, because people are, having kids home from vacation. So parents are spending the summer that time to try to figure out where to put their kids in school and things of that nature. And so, and they're trying to do that so they can be all settled by the time school starts. It used to be early September when I was in school, but now it's early August. So the summer actually is shortened in length for our students. And so that gives the parents a little bit less time to get settled and acclimated in a new place before school starts. And so I'm saying all that to say that as I'm reading the market news in terms of sales and, in terms of what activity is there and present for us, it looks like today we've got pending home sales data posted from the National Association of Realtors. And they are letting us know that according to the National Association of Realtors, NAR's pending home sale index for the month of April was just 72.3% compared to 78.3% in March. Based on purchase contracts for previously owned single family homes, townhomes, condominiums, and cooperative apartments. Cooperative apartments are very interesting, or cooperative buildings are very interesting type of real estate endeavor. And so we don't have a lot of that going on around here in our markets, but that does exist. And so the index for that was also down 7.4% from its levels in April 2023. So we are also experiencing in our markets a drop in sales price, list price. For homes that are available on the market. So we are in a little bit of a backward situation here. Whereas this time of year, we're usually seeing sales spike, pending sales go up. There's usually a higher demand in our markets in the summertime. So sellers are able usually to get a better price in certain instances for their properties compared to what they may get in, say, the winter or the fall. And that speaks volumes. This is especially true for what we like to consider luxury homes. That's going to be in our market homes that I'm going to say at this point that are over $400,000. Those homes are actually sitting longer than they normally would. And so just so you guys know, um, the these reports come out monthly actually. And so I've said this in a previous episode, I believe, but you can go to NAR and check this stuff out. You can also go to the Mortgage Daily News and check it out. And so not only are sales softening and prices are softening, the amount of inventory year over year is up. So we have more properties on the market to sell than we did last year, which is a good thing. We are experiencing some growth there. But if the people are still being priced out of the properties due to interest rates, due to price, what have you, then it still leaves something to be desired for the market, and we're still not able, to make the maybe make the same sales that we were used to. In fact, they've said in the last couple of years that the housing inventory has been so depressed that most agents didn't sell more than 2 homes last year. So thank God I was one of those agents, and hopefully you were too, that was able to accomplish selling more than 2 properties. But that's kind of the going average for people across the country who are real estate agents. There at this point, based on the inventory and pricing and all that's going on there, they're not expecting there to be a whole lot big, a much of an increase in the amount of homes that an agent sells on average month over month. Right now, it's sitting at about two houses that most agents, specifically first time agents, sold last year. So hopefully we can increase that. This is good information for you guys to know. You should be talking to your sellers about this type of information when you're going to them to list, and it's okay to be honest with the seller. In fact, I encourage you to be honest and say, hey, based on what's going on in this market, we probably don't want to be as aggressive on the price because the pool of potential buyers, they are much more particular. They are really counting their dollars and their pennies. So how much money they have to spend. They really want a high quality move-in ready or turnkey property. A lot of our retail buyers, and they want it for a reasonable price. So you want to be sure to tell your clients that. Also, make sure that you are stressing to them that they could be flexible. They could be flexible and offer other things on other terms. Maybe they would be willing to help with the um, uh, concessions of some sort to help buyers to be more enticed to buy their property. They could incentivize you, by paying you a commission, because we all know that. And I want to say this to you guys: on April 7th, not April, August 17th is the official date that we will no longer be able to show properties to a buyer without a buyer's rep agreement. And that is the official date that you will no longer see a commission for the buyer's agent in the MLS. There is some interesting news around that, which I'm not going to get into now, where some MLS companies are able to opt out of that settlement requirement, and they're still able to offer that type of information in their databases. Unfortunately for us, we don't have a board in our local market, so that would be the Mid South, that has said yet that they would be willing to do that. And so that's that. In terms of commercial real estate, this is something that I think is interesting. There's a lot of renovation and addition going on to our downtown area, and we are going to have a new addition called a Speakeasy Arcade, that's coming to the downtown area. It's actually going to be on South Main Street. It's going to be opening within the next few months. Now, when I say Speakeasy and Arcade, this is not going to be a place for people to bring their little kids. This is going to be a 70s, 80s, and 90s themed bar. So it's going to be decorated the 70s, 80s, and 90s theme. It's going to have a restaurant and bar on the main level, where people will be able to come in and look at sports and different gaming options while they enjoy some really interesting food. And then the arcade and retro game consoles are going to be located in the lower level of the bar and speakeasy. And so you will have to have ID to enter this place. You cannot go into it if you're not going to be old enough to consume alcohol. But the market that they're targeting is the young millennial and GZ groups, because whether you guys know it or not, the downtown area is actually the fastest growing zip codes that we have in our local markets right now. So there will be 38101, 38103, 38104, I think, parts of 38105. So this is actually these zip codes of the downtown zip codes are growing, like I said, more than any other zip code in Memphis proper. It has also been deemed the safest zip code in Memphis proper. And more of our young professionals are moving downtown and to the South Main area than we've had before, just because they like the atmosphere of downtown. They like being close to everything. All of the renovations and new builds that are going down there is very attractive. And so I was just saying that to say that for those of you who might be marketing that area, this would be a good thing to bring up. It's actually going to have the restaurant part, like I said, be open in a few months. And then early part of 2025, they'll open up the bottom level, the speakeasy um, part of this bar, and everybody will be able to go and take advantage of it. So that's for those of you that are marketing that area. There's a lot of ways that you could use that to your advantage to either gain new listings or to entice a buyer to buy there. The other thing that I wanted to point out really quickly was the interest rates. The interest rates can change daily. Mortgage interest rates can change daily, but I know most people aren't looking at that. And so, in honor of um, National Homeownership Month, I thought I would just share what today's rates are with you guys if you're listening, so that, like the rates aren't going to change dramatically between today and tomorrow. Maybe you know, maybe a fifth or tenth of a point more or less, but it's not going to change a whole percentage point. So I do feel comfortable that I can say this. So the actual 30-year fixed rate today is 7.29%. The 15-year fixed rate is 6.76%. Both of them actually dropped roughly a half of a point over the last week, so that's pretty good. There is some information out there that suggests the gross domestic product didn't grow as much as they expected it was going to grow over the last quarter. So that has some effect on what mortgage rates we see. Also, the mortgage rates, um, the impact of the mortgage rates is showing that all four major regions of our country lost ground month over month in terms of the percentage points that they um, were able to, or they lost momentum over the for the rates being up is what I'm saying. So all of the areas, north, south, east, well, it's really northeast, midwest, south, and west is how they have it set up. It's just showing historically that the rates have remained consistently high, and that the pending sales have gone down consistently, is what I'm trying to say, in all four major regions. And so, if that should help you guys to have some idea of why maybe your property is sitting a little longer, specifically those properties that are more than $400,000. Guys, we just don't have, the market is just really soft. People are hoping for those rates to come down. I hope they can come down to the sixes. I'm not really hoping or expecting them to come down much further than that, because, like I've said over and over again, the 1, 2, 3% interest rate was a total anomaly. I just don't think that'll ever happen again in our lifetime, at least my lifetime. And so I hope that we're not out here, still setting people up to say, hey, the interest rates are going to go down. Now, one of the other things that's important, I think, for people to start looking at is the refi rates, because people have been in these homes going on 2 years. A lot of people bought at a really high rate 2 years ago. Maybe they did a 2-1 buy down. Those people are going to have to be looking at what they may need to do now to stay on task and to keep in their homes. You don't want those people, which the 2-1 buy downs have some really good provisions in them now, depending on who your lender is, that allows for you not to be faced with a big, huge balloon payment, but at the end of the 2-year period. But we know that those people had the expectation that the rates were going to go up. So if you're looking for a way to, stay connected with your buyers, and even your sellers, um, you know, talk to them about what's happening with this. But there's still an out. Like, people can use 2-to-1 buy downs if they qualify for that type of situation, to qualify for to get into these homes at a lower interest rate. They always have the option of refinancing in the future. And like as we said, we know that some people paid higher interest rates than what exists now about 2 years ago. So this is the perfect chance for you to help those people figure out what they want to do. Do they want to sell and try to get into a more traditional, loan product? Do they want to refinance? You can help them with all of that, and thus generate a profit for yourself. And finally, the last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is this Inman article that talks about 4 ways to showcase your value to home buyers. And I am thinking I'm probably going to harp on this the rest of the year, guys, because I really want people to understand. You don't have to decrease the price that you're charging your customers. You just have to articulate why you're worth it. And so I would encourage everyone to go out and read this free Inman article. And it's called 4 Ways to Showcase Your Value to Home Buyers. And the 4 things I'm going to just name out right here. Tout industry experience. So what have you been doing in the industry since you've had your real estate license? What do you know about the industry? And how it can, be used to help your client or the person that you're hoping to win business from. Number 2, make sure that marketing that you're doing is connecting with your intended audience. A lot of times I see on Facebook, we're posting, and I'm a lurker on Facebook, so I don't post a whole lot. I don't post a whole lot on social media in general. I'm more of a lurker, but I know, because I'm a lurker, I can clearly see what they mean about um, having your marketing be focused in panels. Sometimes it is confusing to figure out what a person is doing when it's not all together. So make sure that your marketing is connected with your intended audience, and that you have a way to track the marketing for its level of effectiveness. Display local expertise. So that's what I mean about knowing your neighborhoods, knowing where things are. The speakeasy that I just spoke about that's coming to downtown. A lot of people probably haven't heard about that because most people aren't reading the newspapers and reading the publications that I'm reading to bring this information to you. If you are reading it, though, you will sound so smart to your client if you can pick up on things like that and say, hey, I know this is coming. This may work for you. It may not. And just having the information also can help you to predetermine the path that your client may want to go down based on what their needs are. Some people may say, yeah, I'm young, but I don't want to be downtown. I would rather be out of the suburbs where it's quieter, or whatever. Knowing what's going on in the different zip codes and the local markets that you serve is very important, and having the ability to be able to display their having the ability to be able to display their your knowledge there for the local area means a lot, and it goes a long way. And then lean on referrals and testimonials. I know a lot of people don't think about the Zillow profile or the Realtor profile where people can leave you reviews. I can tell you, I have gotten so many calls from people who wanted to do business with me because they read those reviews that are out there. They're on Zillow or wherever they are. And the more places that you can have an opportunity for people to share information like that about you, the more it helps you with the search engines. It's not helping a whole lot like paid SEO would, but it's a little bit, or something is better than nothing. So having those reviews out there and for people to be able to read those and see how you help someone else only adds to your business. So with that being said, I really do strongly urge you guys to go out and take a look at that particular article. Next week, we're going to talk about some basic sales things, things that people can do to improve their salesmanship. And I hope that that information, I'm going to look for some very specific things that relate to real estate. And I'm hoping that you guys will take advantage of that, because we don't get a lot of sales training in the world of real estate, but I think it's something that we need in order to be better at our jobs. So I'm going to try to bring some quality information in that aspect to you. And with that being said, I'd like to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to today's Friday Focus. As always, if you have any questions, concerns, or if there's anything that you want me to speak specifically about or educate on, please let me know. I am an open book, and I am open to ideas from the best real estate agents in the Mid-South. That's you. So take care of yourselves. Have a fabulous weekend, and we'll talk again next week on our newest episode of the Best Real Estate Company Friday Focus. Bye now.